Antony is frustrating. Antony is mid. Antony is a waste of money. Antony is trash. Antony is just not Man United level. This harsh statement had been associated with the last season newly signing Brazilian winger Antony. With the opening of a new season, many fans have massive expectations as Ten Hag and Man United can follow up the progressive 22-23 season with a full preseason and quality addition transfer. However, after the first two matches ended with a win and a loss, both matches were very hard to watch. No structure or control can be summarized for both of the matches. These strong discrepancies have brought humongous finger pointing across the fan base to the fault of many United players, going from the tactical confusion of Ten Hag, the overly ambition of Mount in the midfield and Rashford striker issue. And then there are some strong criticism were targeted on Antony as well, given that Antony criticism had already existed since the day he joined the Red Devils and yet to die down ever since. But his poor performance in both opening matches did not help his case, rather worsened his profile so much it made his sub Fernando Pelistri look like world beater. In spite of that, how does Antony's performance in these two matches causes so much frustration? And in this video, we'll be discussing the profile expected in for Antony, analyze what poor performance done in these two matches, and is Antony really good enough to don the Man United shirt? What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Marvin, codename CM. Welcome to the Code United channel once again. If you somehow happen to stumble into this channel and you enjoy this kind of content, do please like, share and subscribe to this channel, as each of your precious subscription will be a massive motivation for me to upload new content. And don't forget to ring the notification bell for every new upload. With that being said, let's get straight into the video. If you are a die-hard Man United fan like me, who follow Man United activity day in and day out, Antony's overall profile as a player and character were no stranger or no new to anyone. The South American joined Man United in the deadline of the transfer window, in which Man United, particularly Murta and Arnold, basically shit themselves with similar deja vu terrible performance. Although we all know the story of Antony as he had an explosive debut scoring against rival Arsenal, it did not stop there and he went on to collect another 2 more goals in Man City and Everton matches. However, after all honeymoon brought by Antony, a string of inconsistent display after display had Man United fans starting to questioning the purpose of the transfer, and his spin really did not help his case either. While Antony across last season did occasionally deliver bright spark of performance, including a winning goal against La Liga champion Barcelona, furthermore Antony in the latter half of the season has seen gradually improvement in the performance, especially in the 2-0 win against Nottingham Forest, whereby he delivers a goal and an assist. Going into the new season, Antony had been viewed to further have at least settle his ground in the Premier League and be a legitimate right-winger starter for Man United. Unfortunately, instead of providing an eye-catching performance, Antony in both opening matches become a straight-up one-man army that be eye-catching, but as a source of pissing off all the fan base. Poor decision-making, same old no right foot, unnecessary slowdown plays brought almost a riot for him to drop for Fernando Pelistri, who actually played quite decently against Spurs match. Before we go into the details, let's start with his playstyle profile. Antony registered himself as a tricky out-and-out left-footed inverted right winger. His scout reporter would tell you Antony, although a left-footed player playing at the wrong side of the wing, whose natural instinct is to attack inwards for his stronger left foot. His main strength will be his dribbling, where we often see he uses multiple short touches or can call shuffle to manipulate the ball away from his opponent and any incoming challenges. His wide starting position can help him detach an opposing fullback from the rest of their backline, creating space to dribble into and had a full view on the final third. He likes to attack inside in a similar way to wingers nowadays, shuffling slowly before combining a drop of shoulder with an explosive change of pace. In addition, Antony had an underrated press resistance ability, or probably the player with the best ball retention among the forwards in Man United. As across Man United squad, press resistance is a technical term that did not reflect within the team, with like Luke Shaw, a left back, Lisandro Martinez, a centre back, and a newcomer Andre Onana, a goalkeeper, probably have the best ball playing ability. This made Man United right hand side being very vulnerable as a press trigger, given that Varane, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Dalot all were comfortable ball on their feet but were not elite in dealing with presses. This led to Man United, when facing a strong teams, very often being forced to play a build-up on the right side. Fortunately, a lot of times when the right back being pressed either one or two players, they will release a forward pass to Antony, and the Brazilian many times would utilize his low center of gravity, uses a quick flick or a spin, thus become a steady outlet. Besides, Antony also brought a balance in the offense with Rashford and Martial being all right-footed. It's logical for a left-footer to sit on the other side of the pitch, which creates a goal threat when both wingers cut in. Well, speaking of goal threat, left-footed bending shot to the top corner is the bread and butter for Antony. In order to create this kind of opportunity, player will require another teammate movement to force defender to make decision, and this then allowed a small room of time for the player to switch to the shot. Antony in his Ajax days is highly skilled at using the overlapping teammate, either from Sebastian Haller, dragging an opponent with them just as he begins to cut in to strike with his stronger left foot. Apart from cut in to score, Antony also had a knack to cut ins, but at times to seek a through ball for another teammate. His preseason assist to Rashford against Lens being the best example. When received the ball, Antony's slight drive inwards, then released a perfect through ball to Rashford that beats the offside for the goals. And on the other side of things, Antony is a strong and hardworking counter-presser who can apply instant pressure on the ball when he or a nearby teammate loses position. His agility and acceleration both help with this, but there is downside for his defense that he is sometimes a little bit too lightweight, as when he track back or pressure the opponent using a shoulder check, he was often too easily be bumped out, indicate that he is hardworking when it comes to the presses, but was not really physical enough to deal with that. Of course, Antony's weakness had been more glaring than his strength. Although his dribbling had his major selling point, but it actually led to many of us highly question that due to the fact that we rarely see Antony contain the directness to take on any fullbacks. Rather, he would just make a shift of shoulder or a fin, and if the defender did not move or position themselves to disallow any cut in, and they did just simply make a pass back to recycle possession. Secondly, his lack of right foot or confidence in his right foot really hindered him from being good to amazing player. His lack of right foot had him too predictable for the defender, as Antony would look to cut in every single time rather than attacking the byline. In recent Spurs match against Udogi, the Spurs defender even allowed so much space in the byline, yet Antony seems very hesitant to go to that route. His predictability is so much so, I believe even Ray Charles or Stevie Wonder could hold their own when defending Antony. Now, some of the other left-footed right winger like Di Maria and Salah, both of them also had a tendency to cut into their stronger foot, has slightly different playstyle of the delivery. Salah possessed a close and shifty dribbling that could go both in and out that had defender constantly guessing, while Di Maria, similar to Antony, almost had no right foot but was much more adventurous, using numerous unorthodox yet elegant techniques like Rabona or the Trivela for the cross. Both techniques that Antony could really learn and adopt into his game. Even with the lack of right foot, this technique can really open Antony and be a dangerous winger. But his biggest red flag had to be his decision making. Antony in a build-up from the first phase to the middle third were decent to great at times, but when it comes to the final third had been disaster, and I'm stretching it. Antony so many times would make the worst choice in terms of when to slot a pass or take a shot at goal. Again, when playing against Wolves during the 8th minute, Antony with his high defensive work rate managed to win the ball up front, hence led to a 4v2 situation. We can see Bruno make a dummy run that dragged defender with him, open space for Antony to cut in. And here, with the defender facing away from Bruno, the best solution would be a slot to Bruno for a cross to the incoming Rashford. However, Antony took way too much time stalling, and he made the decision to pass to the least threatening option of Mount, hence wasted opportunity of a well-constructed counter-press. And against the Spurs, there was a moment I don't really recall on the second half that had my rage meter go through the roof. In the possession, I remember Antony attempt a through ball to Bruno, get blocked easily, fortunately recover quite nicely. And the second is a simple pass and get blocked again, causes a turnover. That moment really goes WTF. Antony horrible decision making in the final third really is a point that frustrated many United fans, and also given his pride tag do not help his case at all. Overall, Antony at times has shown to be an exciting player with massive potential, but in these two matches he had yet to show any glimpses of that. Of course, with the benefit of the doubt, the lack of proper striker that can be a focal point might help his case, and also this is an early season but needs some time to get in gear, as Antony has shown in the latter half of last season his performance significantly improved in the second half of the season. Despite of that, Antony's other weaknesses like lack of right foot and decision making really need a lot of works, and hopefully Eritana and the coaching staff really had helped him, or else the patience for him to kick into his potential would be limited. That's the end of the video. What do you guys think? Do you think Antony really frustrates you as a player? And do you see him gradually come into the player we foresee? Comment down below so that we can have a discussion. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I will see you all in the next one.